Very easy.
John Sperzel's his name. He's the president and CEO, member of the board of directors for a company called T2 Biosystems. They are publicly traded under the stock symbol TTOO. Double T double O. Double T double OT.
I got it.
TTOO is their stock symbol. And you can go to Biosystems.com. That's their website. We're keeping him over just because it's such an interesting story. An interesting story about the company in and of itself. But now we're getting into John himself. So John is the president, CEO, and member of the board of directors for this company. He's also an author of the book Courage, Powerful Lessons in Leadership, Strength, and the Will to Succeed. After he got, not heart surgery, right. Russ, not an anagram, angioplasty.
A little bypass now.
He got a whole new heart, and if you look at him, there he is.
Yeah.
John?
Fine and
you look fantastic. Boy.
And one of the reasons...
What was interesting is last Thursday.
Yeah. Sprung right back to it.
When did you have your heart transplant, sir? Oop, I beg your pardon.
And before my transplant, I actually said sort of jokingly to my sister, I've been training for this my whole life. I just didn't know it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, sometimes adversity finds you, and it certainly did in my case.
Right.
So, did your experience there lead you to this job as well as the book?
It absolutely did. So I got diagnosed with something that's been diagnosed 300 times in medical history.
Totally.
Almost all autopsy. And mean time to death is 4 to 5 months. So I was in a really grave situation, had to fight for my life.
Yeah.
And I think one of the greatest gifts that adversity can give us is the hidden gift of true purpose. And in my case, I decided to write the book. I wrote it to honor my donor, to raise awareness about the importance of organ donation, and to raise the awareness about the risk associated with sepsis. Because post-transplant, I got several multi-drug resistant bacterial infections, one of which became septic. So I actually left the company where I was, publicly traded company where I was the president CEO, and joined T2 Biosystems basically to pay it forward. It was a promise that I made to do something meaningful, and I chose sepsis to go after.
Well, that's got to feel good.
So John, are you truly able to go ride bikes and walk around and stuff like that?
Absolutely.
No
I was back on a plane within a few months off to Brazil trying to help them solve the Zika crisis at the time.
No kidding. With respect to your personal experience, obviously that's going to give you a window to the patient experience that they go through, which obviously makes it more personal for you. Where do you see yourselves post-COVID as a company? And where do you see us? How are we doing with some of these infectious blood diseases as a country?
Well, I think we're making great progress. I agree that we need to continue to be very vigilant. We can see what's happening in India. Unfortunately, it's a humanitarian crisis. And I think our foot was let off the pedal a little bit too soon there. So we have to remain very careful here.
And I think before I let you out here, we got to spend a few minutes on the book. Can you talk about what people can expect out of the book?
Yeah, the first half is my medical journey. It's obviously quite interesting. It was documented in the New England Journal of Medicine, which is the oldest, most respected peer-reviewed medical journal out there. There are probably easier ways to get in the New England Journal of Medicine than the way I did.
Yeah.
And the second half are these powerful lessons, and I call them principles. And they are probably helpful for people in school, in sports, in business, and in life.
Yeah.
And they're built around an acronym of HEART, H-E-A-R-T. Hard work, excellence, attitude, resilience, and teamwork.
And sounds like a speaker coming out here too.
Yeah,
I would
exactly. And you're basically the Mick Jagger of heart patients at this point,
right?
Because I mean, you're one of 300 people that have had this thing.
I'm the luckiest guy on the planet. That's clear.
Oh, look at that.
At the end of the day here, this experience for you, is this going to? Do you think this translates to how your company, the T2? I know it's a publicly traded company, but how T2 has been successful? Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm all in on this. This is deeply personal to me. And if you look at the statistics around sepsis and the current standard of care, and we measure healthcare really two ways universally. We look at the cost of healthcare as consumers, as suppliers, as payers, and we look at the outcomes. And if you look at the current standard of care related to sepsis, today sepsis is the #1 cost of U.S. hospitalization. We spend $62 billion a year dealing with sepsis in the United States alone.
Yeah.
And if you look at outcomes, it's the #1 killer in U.S. hospitals. We lose 270,000 people every single year to sepsis in the U.S. alone. Mm-hmm. That's more than the top 3 cancers combined. and we lose 11 million people a year worldwide to sepsis. So
My goodness.
I promised to pay it forward, and I'm going after the biggest issue that we have in hospitals outside of COVID.
His name is John Sperzel. John, thank you so much. Will you come back and hang out with us, please?
I would love to.
We'd love to have you come
Thank
in.
you guys so much for having me.
What part of the country are you in, by the way?
Where are you sitting?
Massachusetts.
Well,
We're in the Boston area. I'll tell you one other sort of circle of life story here. Our technology originated at Massachusetts General Hospital, the same place that saved my life.
No kidding. You know what? This isn't a big ask, John, because we were in San Diego. We got to get you to come out to San Diego. Come on.
Right. Hop on the plane.
Sunny out here.
In a month.
They accept heart transplant people. Come on.
Absolutely.
I would love to.
All right, you got it. John, thank you. John Sperzel is his name.
You guys go biking, you and your little trip.
I don't want to go biking with a guy who can't feel his legs. That's an unfair advantage.